I'm Ann Alexander, and I serve with OMF International. And I've been in Taiwan since since I was in kindergarten. And then I went back to Taiwan as a missionary in 1981. So that's a long, long time. But I learned that people in Taiwan and people around the world love stories. So I've been learning to tell stories. Now, you probably already know how to tell stories really well. And I would hope that some of the stories you tell might be Bible stories. That's what I'm learning to tell, and I'm hoping that other people can catch that kind of excitement, because some of the stories in the Bible are just phenomenally exciting. Oh, you know, Jesus used stories a lot, didn't he? He was teaching with stories an awful lot because he found out that people were, well, they just couldn't think through the reasoning and the logic that their teachers were using. And so one day he'd been teaching with stories all day long. One story, one parable after another. And at the end of the day, with much ministry, he and his disciples, they were exhausted. And Jesus said, let's go over to the other side of the lake, the Gentile side. And so his disciples and he got into lots of little boats, and they set out across the lake. Now, Jesus himself was so tired that he went to the back of the boat and he lay down on a large cushion and he fell fast asleep. And when the storm came up, everyone was afraid because this was the worst storm they'd ever been in. They were sure they were going to die. They were sure the boat was going to go down. And finally, they realized Jesus was still asleep. They went and they shook him and they said, Jesus, Master, don't you care? We're about to die here. And Jesus rose up and he looked out at the wind and the waves and he said, peace, be still. And everything calmed immediately. Not only that, but the disciples calmed too. They looked at him and they were terrified. They said, what kind of a person is this, that even the wind and the waves obey him? Wow. Jesus had a lot of power, didn't he? And the stories of what he did have an awful lot of power too. And that's why I really want you to learn the stories of the Bible, so that when you go home, you can tell your family, your friends, your classmates, your teachers, your neighbors, you know, the people around you. Because that's kind of what Jesus wanted us to do. Stories are a wonderful way of telling people about the good news of who God is and what he wants us to do. But even more than that, how much he loves us and how much he cares about our lives. I hope you know that. And I hope that you also can go and tell other people that kind of good news, because that's what I've committed my life to. And I'm working with Bible telling up in Bloomington, Illinois, to do the same kind of thing I was doing in Taiwan. I'm helping other people, people who have different languages, to learn by having the Bible stories translated into their languages. Hope you will pray for me. I hope you will pray for me, and sometime soon, hopefully I'll come and see you again. And the next time when I come, well, maybe I'll just say, what kind of story do you want me to tell today? Maybe you can do that too. I'll talk to you again. God bless you. Go with God.